So it's official that a majority of the Valve offices have just begun their annual trip to Hawaii, meaning we're about to receive a big break from CS2 updates. But the question is, are we still on track for the spring and early summer content? Gary's Mod 2 items are officially crashing out, and so too are the players. Counter-Strike's case market has spiked quite a bit recently, despite all the attention going to the terminal and new skins. And with an uncertainty with delays, with updates, players are wondering at this moment if they should be saving their Armory stars or continuing to wait for the next major update. Over the last 24 hours, Counter-Strike has seen new vehicle leaks, but the question is this or was this for Half-Life or Danger Zone 2? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an episode of CS2 News. This is the series where we break down and discuss all things Counter-Strike from the market, updates, news, and more. Today's video, we're going to hop into pretty much every single category and also discuss Valve's break and what this means for Counter-Strike. Now, today's sponsor is Skinland, the marketplace that has it all. And right now, they're giving you a free $10 on your first trade using my code LukeEats. Skinland is a buying and selling marketplace that has just partnered up with Team Vitality, offering some of the best rates and availability of skins in the entire industry. As of right now, in regards to CS2's market, it's one of the best times to buy that players have had in years. And paired with a no wait time when it comes to selling your skins, as Skinland pays out instantly despite Valve's updates with trade reversals and holds, I couldn't recommend them enough. Now, they also offer multiple different payment methods to top up your balance, and the same goes to withdrawing your skins and even in cold hard cash. With a large selection of skins to choose from and great competitive and fair prices, don't wait and be sure to use my code LukeEats while using the site. Thanks again to Skinland for sponsoring today's video. If interested, the links will be at the top of the description down below. This was pretty well known before this even happened and got announced by official CS2 and just Valve devs that they're on their break. Fletcher Dunn just yesterday afternoon, another CS2 dev, stated he's going to be on vacation for the annual Hawaii trip. Now, that doesn't mean all the CS2 devs are gone. It's just that probably a majority of people are gone on this trip. It is a choice. You can do what you want. You can go work if you want. I mean, why wouldn't you take it? With that being said, what does this mean for Counter-Strike? And how long are they going to be gone for? Because that's going to kind of dictate of how things go. Which that means I'm assuming there's probably not going to be any major updates to CS2, but I mean, we've already seen quite a few over these last few days. The reason I did want to mention this is not just because of the Armory update, also because we have the major coming up within the next 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks anyway. Valve typically adds the capsules anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks out. In recent times, especially here in CS2, it could be as soon as up to a week before. So if that was the case, this would definitely give time to release new content because Valve doesn't like to overlap things. I think right now it's kind of hard to tell what is going to happen, but if I had to guess, I think we are probably going to get the Armory update at the very least before the major. And then after the major, Valve could decide to either release Cash with Season 5, which yes, we're already talking about Season 5 in premiere. That's just kind of how things are right now. Or Cash is going to come out in the Armory update, one of the two. Which because of this, players right now are really having a hard time figuring out what they want to do with their Armory stars. This update was mentioned just a few months ago, probably should have released a little over a month ago, and here we are kind of stuck in a big predicament because we don't know when it's going to come out. In my personal opinion, I'd probably still hold on to your stars because a lot of the skins on the Armory we know and love right now is kind of very much oversaturated, oversupplied. Not to mention people are also all forgetting about all the bans that were happening and those people now getting unbanned with all their skins in their inventory from the Armory Pass farming. Right now, quite honestly, I would still hold on to your stuff, but that's just my personal opinion. And then of course, because we are on updates, we are on leaks, Thor CS2 out of all players, links will be down below. He suggested late last night that there's a new CS2 league for vehicles. Now this was eventually community noted for this not being new, which yeah, it's not. And a lot of my viewers and a lot of my audience was suggesting it was. I don't want you guys getting fooled. This is probably and most likely not for Counter-Strike 2 whatsoever. This is most likely for HLX and Half-Life 3. This was such an old leak, in fact, we have videos talking about HLX just a few months ago, which this was then focused on that. Now, of course, there is that possibility because Valve does reuse assets in between games that, hey, this could be somehow used for Counter-Strike 2. One, if it does, it's probably not going to be the way it probably looks and feels and plays within Half-Life 3, or it's going to be for Danger Zone, which I find very unrealistic and not very reliable information. Danger Zone 2, yes, it has grown pretty popular amongst fans, especially on community servers with Epidemic's version, for an example, but it's not enough for a total reboot. Because I said this before and I'll say it again, if Danger Zone was that popular to begin with, it wouldn't have been a question about getting removed when CS2 launched. And that's just kind of a hard pill a lot of players have had to swallow. So yeah, this leak is not new. It's probably for HLX. Let me know what you guys think. And then of course is on the discussion of the CS2 and just, well, Steam market. The first thing I want to talk about is what has been going on with Gary's Mod 2 items. I made a tweet just the other day about the Cardboard King being so expensive for no reason, and it's all based around hype, speculation, and assumption that this is gonna do well. Now it hit a peak of almost $700 and has now crashed down to a little under $3, and I think it's for very, very good reason. One, right now, a lot of people are starting to realize this is probably just a bunch of BS, probably doesn't mean anything, and it's probably not gonna be stable in the long run. A lot of viewers that I have have, people that I interact with daily on Twitter, have also been selling these things off because they don't see the future of it. But it's also just so volatile because no one really knows what's going to happen with this thing, or if this game is really even going to be super successful in the long run of things. Now, I made the joke, for those who've been around for quite some time, that this is the same kind of vibe and idea of the Bitcoin item on Steam from 2020, where this was just pretty much used for money laundering and that was it. Valve shut it down, you can no longer buy it, you can't even trade it. In my personal opinion, I think it's pretty much the exact same thing, so just be careful. And then as it stands for CS2, we still have the market going up quite a bit with the dead hand terminal. We still also have cases going up despite all Valve's attention going to the dead hand terminal in the first place, and also just terminals to begin with. This shows that players still like cases, they want to open them, but also that Valve is probably not going to be going away from these things anytime soon. Now, this could mean we're not going to receive any new cases, but the cases we do have within CS right now are not going to be disappearing. So I mean, take that information as you will. And to end things off for today's video is heading into the pro scene. Everyone knows about how strong Vitality has been as a team, how ESL has put out tweets saying whoever beats them at this next event is going to win an extra $100,000. Well, the Falcons, out of all teams and all players, has just ended Vitality's match win streak to secure IEM Rio semifinal berth. They had 18 wins in a row, which then they just lost their first match, which is just absolutely insane. Now, let me know what you guys think. How are you guys feeling, for example, about the Garry's Mod 2 crash? What are your thoughts and opinions about Danger Zone 2 returning, the vehicles being an HLX, and of course Valve's vacation?